Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fan Appreciation Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at an animated movie from 2006. That movie is Paprika. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this movie, guys. In fact, I only know what I read on the back of this thing. I know two things. One, I know that this movie has a lot to do with, dreams. So this is probably going to be a rather trippy film, and I'm totally looking forward to that. And two, I know that the person who made this movie, or rather the person who directed the film, is the late great Satoshi Kon. And I know that Satoshi Kon has made one other movie I've seen, and that movie was Perfect Blue. For those of you who don't know, Perfect Blue still stands to this day as my favorite psychological thriller ever. I love that movie, and if you haven't seen that one, if you have not watched Perfect Blue yet, please go out and try to find it. Granted, it's probably going to be a little bit tough in the U.S. to attempt to find it on DVD, and the Blu-rays are ridiculously pricey right now because all of them are imports, but the movie is totally worth checking out if you have the time. But I'm not here to talk about Perfect Blue. I'm here to talk about Paprika. I don't know if this thing is going to be any good. I certainly hope so. Especially since, again, it's from the same guy who made Perfect Blue. So I'm kind of hoping for that same level of high quality, at least in terms of animation and story flow and everything else. But the only way I'm going to find out if this thing is any good is if I shut up and I push play. And I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Paprika. Okay, so let me see if I understand this. So, someone has stolen their dream entering device, and they already know that it's a terrorist, even though the thief hasn't used it yet. Are we sure that it's a terrorist? I really, guys, I'm not trying to punch holes in this. It's just, there's a huge gap between just being a thief and being a straight up terrorist. It's like, I really wouldn't jump to that kind of a conclusion until something actually happens, you know what I mean? Alright guys, I totally understand this is a really trivial thing to mention, but this movie has some fantastic animation. However though, the CG which is used in this is some really shitty CG. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know. Okay, guys, I would just sort of like to let everybody know right now. I have had some really weird fucking dreams. I don't think I've had any as absolutely messed up as what I'm seeing in this movie. Especially since now the dreams are starting to, like, cross over and mesh and blend, and it's getting incredibly hard to follow. This movie is very odd, guys. Okay, as far as rape scenes go, this is far and away one of the more fucked up ones I've seen. And now it's just getting... What the fuck is going... Oh, okay. No, guys, I really cannot explain what the fuck I'm seeing. This is really odd. Okay, don't know how to properly explain what the fuck I just saw, but I guess that's one way to beat a giant god of dreams. It was definitely different. I'm sorry, guys, I'm actually rendered kind of speechless by that. That was definitely odd. Well, guys, that was Paprika. That was definitely different. By the way, this song, I'm not sure if the camera's picking up on it. This song is fucking beautiful. I love it. This actually is kind of like the movie's theme song. It's the one that played over the opening credits and played like halfway through. Beautiful song. I may actually have to download it at some point. Anyway, let me shut that off. So, let's talk about the movie. Why don't we start with the writing? I guess I should start off by saying that the movie focuses so heavily on dreams that you naturally have to expect the movie to be a little bit different, a little bit odd, a little bit weird, because oftentimes you don't know if what you're watching is real or dream until things start melting or falling apart or someone is suddenly falling. It gets very, very odd very, very fast. So I'm going to tell you right now, this was my first viewing of this. I may have to give it another 2 or even 3 viewings before I fully pick up on absolutely everything that was being done in this film. And unlike a handful of other cases in this series where I have watched a movie, where you'd have to watch it another 2 or 3 times in order to fully grasp what is going on. This thing was interesting enough for it to actually warrant me wanting to watch it 2 or 3 more times. So yeah, this movie's awesome, and it's only going to get better with multiple viewings, because then I'll be able to see things I missed this time through, which is saying a lot. That is something that you certainly want with a movie, is you want something that people are going to want to watch again and again. And this thing has a story that just is perfect for that. Now, not only do we have that, not only do we have the weird, like dream imagery, but we also have a story that is incredibly deep. We have characters who are very, very well, written. Guys, writing here is some of the best you will find. This movie is going to take you on a ride, a very odd and strange ride for about 90 minutes. And when it's all said and done, the very fact that you are going to want to ride it, the fact that you're going to want to go on that same ride again, is always a good sign. I do have one issue, though, when it comes to the writing. And this comes from living in the U.S., because this whole thing is focused on a small, the whole thing's focused on a small headset device, which allows people to dive into other people's dreams. And also, because they didn't do enough coding on it, it also allows you to take other people's dreams and implant them into other people. It allows you to take people's dreams and implant them into other people's heads. So that way person A could be taking a dream from person B, and taking it and putting it into person C's head, which then causes person C to basically have a psychotic breakdown. That is kind of the problem, is that this headset, which is called the DC Mini, is technically a medical device, and in the U.S., anything which is medical, be it a pill, a shot, a treatment, a device, it has to be tested and retested constantly before it gets regular usage. And the reason why they have a handful of dreams to work off of is because it was already going into regular usage, even though they hadn't finished developing it yet. Which is why it didn't have codes that kept people from taking, dreams and implanting them into other people's heads and causing them to go fucking wacko. Which, to me, that would almost be like one of the first things you would put into this thing, is some kind of a fail-safe to keep all this sort of shit from happening. I mean, that honestly would be like the bare minimum in the U.S., especially before you could start testing it on humans. Again, I don't know how medical treatments and devices and pills and what have you are tested over in Japan. Perhaps honestly they have no real limits, and you can just sell anything to anyone, and you can just figure out the side effects, and you can figure out like consequences as people slowly start going fucking mental. But it just seems a little bit weird when you live in the U.S. or you live in any other country which has incredibly strict medical guidelines, to then see a potentially a very dangerous medical fucking device used openly, even though it's not even fucking fully developed yet. It just seemed really odd, and I totally understand that. Probably, if I now perhaps maybe if I were to read the novel this thing is based on, there might be even more information going into that and trying to explain why. However, though, in the movie, and also once more, I'll probably be able to figure out a little bit more on my second or third viewing. It just felt a little bit off to me. Now, beyond that one oversight, at least to me, a bit of an oversight. The writing is top notch all over. The writing in this thing is awesome. The acting, I cannot talk about the Japanese acting because in this instance, I opted to go with the English dub, and I'm going to tell you that the dub is amazing. The dub for this movie is fantastic. It is really one of the better dubs I've heard recently, but then again, I really haven't been watching a lot of stuff that even claims to have a halfway decent dub, so let's just sort of, so let's just kind of sort of like roll, with that. So honestly, if you are one of those people who is not a fan of subtitles and you have to have it dubbed, the dub here is stellar. You are going to love it. And as for people who prefer it to have subtitles, don't worry, it does have subtitles and it does come in Japanese. So yeah, you are totally set no matter which way you want to watch it. Sony has totally set up everybody for it, and you're all going to be happy. Perhaps honestly, on the second viewing, I may actually just kick it over to Japanese and watch it fucking subbed. Who knows? In fact, hell, actually, a handful of in fact, hell, now there actually might even be a bit more of a fucking explanation about the whole testing end of things. In the original Japanese, I don't know. Again, I'll find out if I ever decide to watch this thing in Japanese. So anyway, guys. Writing here is awesome. The acting here is great. Special effects. There is a lot of CG in this film. And way early in this video, I commented that the CG looked like shit. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am going to have to retract that. I can tell you of 2 moments where the CG looks terrible. And one of them, which actually was the one I commented on, was incredibly justified because it was a tracking shot inside of a bar. And the reason why it looked kind of off is because the bar is actually a website. And in 2006, guys, websites didn't have a real, polished and high-end look. So naturally, it was going to look a little bit cheap. Mind you, it still looks sort of cool, but it just sort of, it just really stands out and looks really odd. And of course, it also is kind of justified because that is part of, the dream world and all this. It all kind of ties in. It's all really weird. The other shot is a tracking shot when we see a ladder inside of somebody's closet, and the camera sort of swings over, and everything else looks to be hand drawn except for the opening and the ladder, which is done in CG, and it stands out like a sore thumb. And it also looks kind of cheap, too, even by, CG standards. Now, there's tons of other CG in this film, and the rest of it looks amazing. So we have just those 2 moments that look way off, and everything else, though, looks amazing and beautiful, especially the moments when, in the dream world, Paprika or somebody else essentially explodes into a cloud of blue fucking butterflies. It looks beautiful. It looks amazing. So yeah, guys, CG here is awesome except for 2 moments which happen really early in the film, and they just look way off when compared to everything else. Just wanted to make that point abundantly clear. Music. Well, I have already touched on the fact that I love the main song used here. There really, guys, is not a whole lot of other music in here. There's maybe like another 10 pieces of music, all of it sounds all of it sounds beautiful and awesome. At some point, I'm gonna have to download the fucking soundtrack. The movie has amazing music, beautiful music, breathtaking animation. I might as well talk about the animation because fuck, guys, I really can't say much else about the music. It is beautiful music. The animation, well, first of all, the studio which did the animation is a Japanese animation studio which is called Madhouse. Madhouse is known for putting out awesome, fantastic, fluid, beautiful animation, and they do not disappoint here. This, honestly, is some of the best I've seen come out of Madhouse, and that is saying a lot because that, guys, is probably one of the best animation studios over in Japan, shy only of Studio fucking Ghibli is better. That's it. It basically is Ghibli, then Madhouse, then everything else in terms of how good, exactly how good the actual animation looks. So we have a beautiful looking film, which has a fantastic soundtrack, has awesome writing, has a great English dub. Guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Paprika? Fuck yes, I can. I am totally going to watch this thing again. In fact, I'm probably going to watch it again in like a week and a half or something. Who knows, guys? I honestly might come home from work and go, you know what? I think I'm going to watch Paprika again. However, though, after a fucking 8-hour shift, I'm not totally sure if this would be the best thing to watch, because I'd probably be even more lost when I'm tired. Anyway, I do highly recommend it. The movie is amazing. However, I do have to say that if you totally want to understand everything which is going on, it's going to take at least 2 viewings minimum, because there is a lot of stuff I probably missed here, and a whole lot of it was probably just because I was going my first time through. So on the second viewing, I can totally start looking for other things I missed. Now, because this is Fan Appreciation Month, Paprika came off the Amazon wishlist. The person who sent it in is Jordan, and I will put a link to Jordan's YouTube channel in this video's description. Jordan, thank you. I have been really curious about this thing ever since I first heard about it, specifically because I knew it was from the director of Perfect Blue, and I love that movie so much. I am willing to give anything else from that director a chance, and I do know there is one other film from him I have not seen, and that film is Tokyo Godfathers. I have not seen it yet. I may actually just put it on the wish list, because guess what? I have seen Perfect Blue, and I have seen Paprika, and I loved them both. That could also very well be a fantastic and awesome movie, and the only way I'm ever going to find out is if I shut up and I watch it. So yeah, I'm probably going to go put that thing on the wish list now. Anyway, guys, once more, Jordan, thank you. Guys, please head over to Jordan's channel, look around, and if you like everything you see, please sub. Now, wow, that movie was awesome, and I've been talking a lot about Perfect Blue. I'm going to go grab my DVD. I really think I should go and give that thing another watch, and hopefully somebody will put it out on Blu-ray in the U.S. So yeah, anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.